It always goes to like the shortest, simplest way of understanding each process. But then if you are one of the counterparts, whether the unmovable object or the unstoppable force, you're always going to seek within the activity of your personal function, what is that to be for you individually? Like, how will that speak to the value? Like, you're going to speak through that value because you're either or. You're going to defend the fact that you're the unstoppable object, or you're going to articulate the value of the unmovable force. When the divine says, come out of the way you think and rely on the fact of just me. Let me finish molding you into the energy that will serve you best. So, for example, if I'm frying chicken, something simple, and there's tons of seasonings on it, pepper and all this, and I got the hot oil over there about to fry it up. I got all the different attributes that I'm adding to that. For one, the hot oil is an unmovable force. An unstoppable force. It's constantly getting hotter. It's getting hotter, right? It's picking up momentum. It's getting hotter. The fact to where I can drop something in there and it just. And then you have the unmovable force, something that's sitting there while I'm adding seasonings to it, right? I'm throwing all the seasonings in. You got the peppers, you got the salts, and you got the herbs and all this. It's going to make that thing taste right when you fry it. So you're putting the focus on just the seasoning. So soon as that oil get right, soon as it gets to its top speed, now I can take the one that wasn't moving and put it into top speed, right? Just automatically they start to work in a unison. Now, despite even getting to that fact to where the oil actually starts to work with the unmovable object, or the chicken starts to be cooked by the actual oil, how would those two things be if enjoyed separately? Would you drink hot oil? You know what I'm saying? Or would you eat raw chicken? Even though I got all the seasonings on it. No, they're going to clash. It's always going to be a clash of energy. It's going to be like, why did I do that, right? And if you look at it that way, you see a lot of the situations that take place in existence, the way they play out, because there is not a full completion to the process. So being mindful of the fact that the completion is not taking place, you're supposed to get past certain things, but with only the help and respect of the divine, not your own way of looking at it. Because the one counterpart is being seasoned, is being marinated. It's going to want to sit for a while because it can take on more of those flavors. The oil is getting hot, it's speeding up. So it has to keep moving in order to serve its purpose as far as cooking that the right way. Whenever they intertwine at the wrong time, what can happen? You can burn the chicken, destroy the seasonings, right? You can burn the oil, which makes it unusable. So even things that are unstoppable, moving around, doing what they do, they can burn themselves out by putting too much of its own understanding into its process. And even sitting things down, letting it marinate so long, it can become molded, unused, to where you got to get rid of that and ultimately start over again. There's always going to be a true understanding to each process. This is why even with the three little pigs, or what is it? The three bears, or the bears with the porridge, right? If I can remember that story, the porridge. I want my porridge just right, not too hot, not too cold, just right. You know what I'm saying? That's the divine. Just right is the divine. you know. And the hardest thing for us to do in times of so much chaos going on in the world is to let go of the way we see things and allow the divine to make it just right for us. Look at yourself. Look at the actions that are taking place and try not to be what points the finger as far as the reality of what's going on in one's life. Even though you notice the things that are taking place, you don't have to match that energy. You don't have to become spoiled because the oil was too hot. Or you don't have to get too hot because the meat is spoiled. You know, be mindful of the direction that these things are pushing you into and save your own energy by giving respect to the divine. The divine will save the pretense for it to be used in its right aspect. You can burn the oil without spoiling the chicken. And sometimes you can spoil the chicken without burning the oil. Choices can be made when relinquishing how you personally see how things should be done. Let the divine guide you and try not to guide yourself so much when things are going out of whack, whether that's left or right in the direction of serving one's purpose. We will always seek to serve our own personal way of looking at things. And that's only because of what you are and the counterpart right. Allow the divine to help you see how far you should go, so therefore you can understand what should happen. I don't know it all. I just know what I'm being shown that will particularly keep me in an understanding of what should happen next. So then I'm mindful. And I take my steps slowly. May turn down the oil just a little bit. May not leave the chicken sitting so long. Okay? That's you taking personal control over what you see yourself as to be. You're not going to burn yourself out. You're not going to spoil yourself too much to where your purpose yet is to be known by you. Allow the divine to guide you into that way. So therefore, what is really for you is not wasted. Y'all already know the vibes, man. I don't think I got to speak much more on this. Just allow the divine to be. You already know what it is. NAGA.